Time's DNA test proves the impossible on paternity court.
Mr. Wynn, you are not the father.
Still love him regardless. I'll continue to love him even though he's not mine. He's mine in my heart, and I'll always be there for him.
Mr. Runnels, you are her father.
Yes!
Oh my God. That really is his baby.
Great.
It's a miracle baby.
Yes, she is.
Miracles do happen around us in our lives. Listen to this man who was told that due to a medical condition, he'll never father a child. However, it was proven wrong with the birth of his beautiful daughter. Newsflash, 22 weeks later, Mommy confessed infidelity.
Mr. Runnels, you claim a lifelong medical condition led you to believe you would never be a father. That was until the birth of your daughter, Ireland, who you claim is your miracle baby. But now the defendant says you are not the father. You are here to prove that miracles really do happen. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The plaintiff shared the same hopelessness of being fatherless, but the defendant expressed her feelings, saying she wanted him to be the dad, but doubted it because of his medical condition. Then Mr. Runnels described his complications.
You say you want that miracle too.
Yes.
But you just don't believe
No, I don't.
this is the case.
All it is it's where the hole in the penis is in the wrong spot.
Okay.
Instead of being up top, it's more towards the bottom of the head. The doctor just said that it's a big possibility that I may never be able to have kids if the surgeries don't take. None of them's worked. It's all closed back up and the original hole opened back up.
Talking about the relationship, the defendant said they were together for 4 years and had tried to conceive, but nothing happened. Then she changed her gaze and cheated on Mr. Runnels. But interestingly, the plaintiff had a different story.
When you found out you were pregnant, who did you tell? The other guy you were pregnant, or did you tell Mr. Runnels?
I told them both, actually. I told the other guy on Facebook that I might be pregnant. It could be his baby. And I told him too.
But did you tell Mr. Runnels you cheated?
No, ma'am.
No, I did not. He found out physically on my Facebook.
I had to hack her Facebook and find out by myself. The very first message that popped up was her telling the other dude that it might be his, or it's more than positive his kid.
If it wasn't working out, then she should have left in the first place. The judge asked him about the pregnancy, and he told that he knew it when she was pregnant and helped her throughout the whole period. Then, the plaintiff revealed another unsettling act of the defendant.
Are you there when baby Ireland is born?
Yes, Your Honor, I was at the hospital. The other guy was not by our choice, but I requested to have a DNA test done at the hospital. But I left for 10 minutes to go outside, get some fresh air or whatever, and I came back up, talked to Miss Taylor to see if she had talked to the doctors about getting one done, and she said no.
The judge asked the plaintiff about the importance of today's paternity, and he replied that he hadn't really given a lot of attention to his inability, but still hoped to become a father one day. Upon being questioned about his feelings for the baby, he expressed his confusion.
Why is it so important to you to establish that you were also the biological father?
I've never fully gotten into my medical disorder. I've never fully looked into it. I've never made myself 100% aware of exactly what was going on. In my heart, knowing for so long that I've never had a kid. I've been trying to have a kid since I've been 18 years old.
This man is stuck between hope and horror. We hope that it turns out well for him. Then the defendant added she believed that the baby resembled the other guy more than the plaintiff. So the judge also asked about the other guy's thoughts regarding the baby.
He don't even want nothing to do with her.
He goes back and forth, Your Honor. I'm not even gonna lie.
What was your relationship like with this other guy?
Well, we only known each other for like almost a year. And then he came over one night, we hung out, and it led into more than that. A week later, I took a pregnancy test. They both came up positive. And I told him not to get his hopes up on the first one because I didn't want to have him go thinking, oh yeah, I'm having a baby, and then I go to the hospital.
Miss Taylor's story seemed very honest in the court, but the plaintiff said her hangout plan was different from what she told him. This was the second time he was getting new information. Then, Mr. Runnels shared his version of the story.
Before we get into that, that's kind of funny how Miss Taylor says that he came over, because her whole story to me was she met him out at the park and they went out to the woods to
We met at the park and we had went back to my house.
But yeah, you just said he came over to the house.
So you're getting new information today?
Yes, ma'am. I was told that it happened outside of my house, in a park, somewhere outside.
This case is leading into the pits of confusion. So the defendant explained that she was intimate with the other guy a week before she found out about the pregnancy, but wasn't sure whether she was already pregnant a month ago or not. She also expressed her feelings regarding the baby's future.
Me and the other guy had an intercourse on the 26th of December 2015. And when we did that, a week later, like January 1st, on my mom's birthday as a matter of fact, I found out that I was pregnant. I want her to have the best future she can have. I don't want my daughter to have no father. I want the best for her. I want her to have an outstanding childhood. I want her to go to college, graduate, everything.
Her fears are real, but the outcome of this situation doesn't feel good. Let's hope for the best. All of the testimony still painted a picture of doubt, so the judge asked a doctor to explain the plaintiff's medical condition in detail.
So hypospadias, and I brought, is an opening of the urethra in the incorrect position. On a normal penis, the tip of the penis is where the urethra comes out. In our patient's case, his is a little bit lower. So hypospadias can come in all sorts of varieties. And usually with surgery, it's completely corrected.
So the doctor gave some hope to the plaintiff. But still, the possibility of his paternity is at fault. The only way to figure out the father of the baby is through the DNA results.
In the case of Runnels versus Taylor, when it comes to 8-month-old Ireland Taylor Runnels, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Runnels, you are her father.
Yes.
Oh my God. It really is his baby.
Great.
It's a miracle baby.
Yes, she is.
It is not everyone's cup of tea to take care of their families properly, and some partners could become the reason for its downfall. Take this case, for instance. A disturbed mother brought her ex-husband to prove the paternity of her son, but the defendant accused her of pinning his name on their son.
Miss Tant, you are disgusted that you had to drag your ex-husband to court to prove he fathered your son, Daniel. You are here to put an end to this question that has torn your family apart for more than 2 decades. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wynn, you say that after your wife's reckless affair and lies, she became pregnant and tried to pass Daniel off as your son.
Yes.
The defendant started the testimony by saying that they were very young when they got married, but after their first daughter, things went bad. The wifey was getting flirty with his hairdresser friend. He also shared how he caught them cheating together.
I met this gentleman that I went to school with and decided to introduce him to my wife as a friend of mine. And next thing I know, he's coming over, messing with her hair, supposedly a hairdresser, giving her all the comforts that I should be giving her.
Ooh, that's a classic case of cheating. Flirting with your husband's friend and sleeping in his pal's apartment? But it doesn't end there. The poor partner had another dirty story to share about his wife. Listen to this, and it has far more flavor than the previous one.
We went camping one weekend. So we get to our campsite, we camp. He ends up in our tent that night instead of his tent. And Your Honor, as we sleep in the tent, there's
Excuse me,
her,
we only have
there's
one
her,
tent.
there's him, and there's me in the middle to divide them. Because this is my wife. I want to sleep next to my wife, not another man. I wake up the next morning, I'm against the side, and she's in the middle between us.
You must have a strong nerve to do that, especially in a tent. The judge asked Mr. Wynn about any other doubts, and he blatantly said she continued sleeping with that guy. Seems like all these stories were not enough, so he finally told the moment he caught her cheating.
So I come home early and same thing. Found that she was not in our apartment. Went over to his apartment and knocked on the door, didn't get an answer. Made a statement that, I was gonna kick the door in if they didn't open the door, because I knew she was in that apartment. And when she did open the door, she was dressed in nothing but a sheet wrapped around her. No clothing.
Well, the mommy got herself cleaned for one story at least. The judge asked her about the pregnancy, and she said she found out 3 weeks after her affair, but told the defendant about their son after 2 years.
So, Miss Tant, how soon after this night with the sheet did you find out you were pregnant?
I was 3 weeks pregnant when I found out 6 weeks later.
So, Mr. Wynn, when did you find out about the pregnancy?
Not till after the boy was 2 years old. She contacts me and tells me, we have a son. I'm gonna try to get back together and make a family out of it.
The judge asked him about the responsibilities, and Mr. Wynn said he moved back with her just to take care of their son, but was left hurt when he found out that the baby boy doesn't carry his name, and explained the sketchy act of the plaintiff.
Did you raise him as your son?
Yes, ma'am, I did raise him as my son. I took him under my wing. I made sure he had what he needed as he was growing up in life.
And that upsets you. You feel robbed of...
Raising my child, my family to carry on. My name stops with me.
Why tell a man that he's your son when you changed the baby's surname? Then the plaintiff admitted that she did it to own the baby. Also, she agreed that her one-time sleepover might be the cause of uncertainty. The judge further asked the son about the conversation of doubt around him.
Daniel, your mother has admitted that she has doubt. Has she ever explained to you that there was doubt, or did she always tell you that for certain this was your biological father?
She's never said that she had any doubts. He's the one that's always said he has doubts.
But now as you stand here today and you hear your mother say that there is a doubt.
Don't know how to feel about that, Your Honor.
Whatever they said today didn't matter as much as the pain of a 3-year-old kid who had to go through questioning his paternity all his life. Today's results were more important for him to keep him at peace, so the judge called for the results.
Mr. Wynn, you are not the father.
Still love him regardless. I'll continue to love him even though he's not mine. He's mine in my heart, and I'll always be there for him.
When your baby's paternity is in question and his father has passed away, carrying him all by yourself can be difficult. Sounds difficult, right? Well, that's exactly what happened in this case. But the twist is that the defendant calls Miss Crow's efforts greedy for money. To settle things right, we need a DNA test.
Ms. Reinhardt, you state that Ms. Crow is a liar and a manipulator, and that the child in question is not your deceased son's baby. You say Ms. Crow used your son for money when he was alive, and now it's trying to claim him as her son's father only to get death benefits.
The plaintiff replied to the judge that it wasn't about money. She just wanted her son to know his father's family. She also said that she had kept her defendant's son and the baby in touch before his death. Next, the judge asked Miss Reinhardt about the doubts.
It is more than just the money. My son cannot grow up and meet his father. So he deserves that right to know who his father is and to know who his family is.
And so, Ms. Reinhardt, you don't believe
In the time period when she told me she was pregnant, it didn't happen that way. There's no way she could have been just 2 weeks pregnant and had her stomach firm as she did.
The plaintiff told them about the relationship and how things took a quick start, but also shared that she never slept with anyone else during that time, and he never denied the baby. But the defendant didn't buy that and cut off to argue with her.
Can you talk to me about the relationship?
When I first met Jay, we were at a skate park. I noticed him in the parking lot and I called him over to me and we had a conversation. He did ask me to be his girlfriend and we did have unprotected sex as well. I did not sleep with anybody else in that time when I was with him.
He'd have believed you if you told him the sky was purple.
After this, the plaintiff took the same road and explained some more resembling genes of the baby to the alleged father. But we all know that resemblances are sometimes deceptive. Can't count on them. Then the defendant shared the pregnancy test story claim.
Just right there, you can see it, like his hair, that is Jay. There are things about him that are a lot like me.
I asked her if she took a pregnancy test, Your Honor. She told me no. I said, you didn't take a pregnancy test. How do you know you're pregnant? I know my body. I know
Well,
what
first
it
of all,
feels
your
like.
hormone levels
Feel
have
my-
to build up to even pass a pregnancy test.
Ooh, did you just learn this?
So the gene game is going very strong here, but it's not a total surety. About the birth, the plaintiff said that he was present there and was very excited about the baby. But after 3 months, both of them moved on. But the defendant sparked another curiosity about the baby's father.
Did JC accept the baby as his own?
He told everybody he's really happy, he's excited. He never denied my child. He had me take pictures on his phone. And after that, we went our separate ways and, other things happened. But I was trying to take care of my family. And, I lost my father the same year my son lost his father.
Both sides are going very strong here. The judge asked the plaintiff about his death, and she said they were in different states, and she found it out through a Facebook post. She further told the story, which offended the defendant.
How soon after Thomas was born did JC pass away?
The same week he turned 1. It was almost a year.
For 9 months, he never saw the baby?
He was in Henderson, I was in Vegas. I didn't have a phone number, he didn't have no way to contact me. I didn't even know he was still here until I'm scrolling down my newsfeed on Facebook and I see a mutual friend of ours post, "Rest in peace, Jay," with his picture.
To clear the cloud of confusion, the judge asked the plaintiff about her intentions to prove the DNA of the baby after his death. I mean, yeah, why do you remember all this now? Why didn't you do it earlier? Well, this question sparked curiosity in the court and also gave the defendant a chance to bring down Miss Crow.
I didn't even know when the baby was born because I wasn't contacted.
Jay knew.
Jay knew. He's
knew.
supposedly the alleged father, not.
It don't have to be alleged because we're gonna find out today.
So,
You're gonna
listen.
see for yourself.
I can let my scab build back
Because
up.
it's all about
I'm
you,
the one
right?
that took-
It's about my son. It don't matter about
I'm
you
the one
or
that
me.
took
It's
care of
about my
Jason.
son. My son deserves
Okay.
better. That's what he's gonna get.
Both mother and grandmother were at great odds, and even the testimonies couldn't solve their problems. The poor baby whose paternity was stuck in this denial would suffer the most here, and to give him justice, the judge was ready to read the results.
In the case of Crow versus Reinhardt, when it comes to 2-year-old Thomas Crow, it has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Reinhardt and Thomas Crow is 99.6% you are related.